Modeled by the right triangles below, a surveyor S is taking land measurements using a cabin C, a boulder B, and a tree T as fixed points for reference. The cabin, boulder, and tree are collinear. The cabin, boulder, and tree are collinear. Collinear means they're on the same line. The surveyor is 917 meters from the cabin, 1,048 meters from the boulder, and 1,425 meters from the tree. Determine and state to the nearest degree the measure of angle BST. So that's this right here, question mark. So I'm just going to clean this up a bit so we have a fresh start. So these type of problems, the best way to deal with it is to look at it as two main right triangles. So I have this one right here, the big one, which I copied it over here. And then we have the small one right here, which I'm going to copy right here. So we're going to deal with these two right triangles. So now let's plug in all the information. So in the big one, we had 917 meters, and even on the small one, we had 917 meters. In the big right triangle, we had 1,425 meters, and in the small right triangle, we had 1,048 meters. So using these two right triangles, we're going to solve for the question mark, which was actually right here. So the big right triangle, we don't know what this whole angle is, so we'll call this W for whole. And in the small right triangle, we don't know what this part right here is, we'll call it P for part. And so the main idea is, in order to find the measure of angle BST, we're going to subtract W minus P to get our question mark. So this type of problem deals with SOHCAHTOA. How did we know it's SOHCAHTOA and not Pythagorean theorem? Well, they're dealing with angles. So angles deal with SOHCAHTOA. So now let's label across the right angle, we have hypotenuse. Next to the circle angle, we have adjacent. And then finally, across from the circle angle, we have opposite. We don't have any information on opposite, so I cross it out. And if I look at SOHCAHTOA, A and H are stuck together in CA, which means cosine W equals adjacent over hypotenuse. Okay, let's set up the next one right here for the blue one. So here, same idea, across from the right angle, that's hypotenuse. Next to the circle angle, that's adjacent. And across from the angle, that's opposite. And just like the one right here, opposite was blank, so we cross it out. And in what part do we see the A and H stuck together? It's again cosine. Cosine P is adjacent over hypotenuse. Now we're trying to solve for the angle. So in order to solve for the angle in the calculator, you always have to press second. So I hope you see it highlighted right here, second. So you press second, then cosine. And when you press second cosine, this is what's going to show up on the screen. So let me write the notes to support my work. So second cosine, which is cosine inverse of the fraction I have, 917 divided by 1425. And when you look at my screen, I have this number here. I'm going to copy down the whole number and 4 numbers after the decimal, just to show my work. But when I actually do the calculations, I use whatever the whole number I have in my screen. Next, let's continue for the second problem here. We're going to press second cosine for cosine inverse, and then 917 divided by 1048, which you see here. And so let's write this down. So second cosine or cosine inverse of 917 divided by 1048. And as you can see on my screen here, I'll copy the whole number and 4 numbers after the decimal. Now remember, we're still not done with the problem. We wrote our goal here. In order to find our angle BST, what we had to do is subtract W, the whole angle, minus the part angle. And so what you do is you use the arrow key right here, up, and then I highlight this number, the whole thing, and then I press enter, and that's how it shows up here. Then you press minus, then I use my up arrow to highlight this, then press enter, and this shows. So when you put all those two numbers into the calculator and subtract it, we get 20.9910. Going back to the question, it says to round to the nearest degree, which means whole number. So the measure of angle BST is 21 degrees.